See viewers, I filmed these intros and then I don't really know what the reason was for it. Last week's video, which was about a month ago, me and Connor,
say hello, Connor,
were released from lockdown and Echuca where we've been all year, and we packed a ridiculous amount of gear onto our ridiculous paddle boards and began the ridiculous journey of 1,000 miles to the sea. It took 3 hours to pack up camp in the morning. We were moving a little smidgen every day. After about 3 or 4 days of paddling, we googled how far away the hostel was where we started, and it was 20 minutes drive. The idea of ever reaching the sea, I knew it was possible, but it would mean being on that river and paddleboarding for who knows how long. Did I want to do that? No, probably not. I wanted to go to a festival like all my other mates. Now, an underlying theme to these journeys is, and probably always will be, is beginning these journeys with the dread and doubt of how many miles and how many nights there is to come if we're going to finish the trip. This trip was no different. Another underlying theme to these journeys, which I hope you know, is that yes, I have these doubts, but what saves me on these trips is the kindness of strangers. And paddling down the River Murray was certainly no exception. This was our first experience of, as we call them, the Murray Legends.
Oh, I'm really tired. This man has many daft ideas, paddleboarding down the Murray being one of them. But if this sail works, that might be the answer to our troubles. We are currently, well, on private property. But we think maybe 2 or 3 bends and there's a petrol station where we can treat ourselves to snacks. And maybe a pub, but that might be a bit ambitious. In between these little spots down the river is nothing really, not a lot. So we have to carry enough food, it seems, pretty much like a week's worth of food at a time, which is going to slow us down so much, but we don't really have a choice. None of that. Smoking's not cool. It is actually, isn't it? It is cool. We can all admit that. Vaping is not cool. No. Kids, whatever you do, don't smoke, but definitely don't vape. Alright, let's see what's in here. We might be disappointed in a minute and back on the river, and then we'll have to drink this. A boat. Oh, look at that. Okay. So I'm going to have a wander down and see if this place is too posh to serve us. It's not open till Friday. What a heartbreak. That is heartbreaking. Oh yeah, that'd be nice. So we've accidentally commandeered this boat. That's what happens on these trips. People feel sorry for you. People want to help you out, and now we have cheese toasty. We're on our holidays now.
You don't smoke.
Thank you so much.
No smoking.
Thank you so much. See this lovely couple, ashamedly I don't know the names, but this here is the first of countless beer offerings. I often say that I spent 4 months paddling the Murray, and that I could have done it in 3 if I hadn't got the piss the whole way. So these people are river people, and 2 pobs paddling around the corner, looking as we did, of course we're going to get some attention.
Yeah!
I once heard a voice carry across the water from the riverbank.
Look at this stick. You want a couple of beers, mate? It works! Okay, so, oh shit, no, the boat.
See, looking back through this Australia footage and this river trip footage, it does still seem to me absolutely ridiculous, even though I know this trip worked. But it's also kind of hard to see this footage because it makes me so nostalgic. Yes, this was a ridiculous idea, this was a daft thing to do with your summer, but look at the freedom we had. This is why I say this is the trip I miss most. What a thing to do with your summer when you're young. And the nostalgia I feel for the river and Australia, I almost feel like nostalgia isn't a strong enough word because I feel it deeply. So far the journey had gone very slowly, but it also gone quite well. We hadn't had any hiccups. The first milestone was Barham. Small hiccup there, we did nearly get beaten up by a load of 17-year-olds. Big lads though. We met a fella called Briggsy, who we liked very much. He said, do you want to go on a mad lap? A lap on his speedboat into town. He did warn us, sometimes a mad lap is a bad lap. This was a bad lap. But we managed to escape under a shower of stones. And then one day we arrived in Swan Hill, which was just a name on a map before we started, but reaching these milestones on these journeys when you travel so slow, it's a very big deal. It's not just the mark of progression, it's the mark of hope for the journey, that this could actually work. We're actually doing it now. And it was Christmas. So we spent Christmas at Steve's house. At first we kind of thought he was nuts. Probably is a little bit, but who am I to talk? Con met him when he was fishing, and being asked by a stranger to go around for Christmas dinner, well, it's a bit strange. But turns out Steve was a legend, and so was his family. And we had this big beautiful barbecue, we had a lovely day, everyone had their own bong, it was very Christmassy. At one point I popped to the shops to get more beer on Grand's mobility scooter. Thank you so much to Steve and the family, we'll never forget it. I think this little twirly thing is, I think it's symbolic for how I feel making this video. Making a video when you don't have any footage, don't even try it. But from here on in, until, if you remember, I have the start of the journey and the very end of the journey. The 900 miles, or no, it's less than that. Let's say the 700 miles of paddling in between, In the middle, I just have the odd Instagram story.
Connor had a poo off the side of his board, like a bit of driftwood.
And this is what happened next. Is that how I'm going to do it?
So let's go.
And this is what happened next.
I got it. That's a moth. That is a moth. That is a moth.
So one day, me and Connor were stood on the riverbank, both of us in our undies, both of us wearing Santa hats, Connor with a machete, drinking beers, and we'd just buried some lamb and mint. The lamb was dead. We put it in some foil, we buried it with some hot ashes under the earth, and it was cooking. A boat went past with a family on it, looking at us, rightly so. We looked at them thinking, what are they looking at? They're looking at the lads in their undies and the Santa hats, drinking beers with a machete, burying a lamb. It turns out that nice family, the Hicks family,
We've been adopted. It's our Australian family. Look at that. He's up gone.
Charisse, the mother, Big John,
There's Dad.
the father and daughter, Megan, and the son, Lyndon. He was called Lyndon. Megan, his sister, said that he knows how to throw a party. I actually still owe him for a crate of beers. I never paid for those beers. Probably not going to happen now, but thanks, Lyndon. We jumped on his little party boat and we cruised down. I was not bothered a bit that I wasn't paddling.
We are cheating, swipers. We are cheating. Here are the babies.
It was New Year's Eve and we were meeting our two best pals, Carol and Elaine.
Praise Lord Jesus. For he has given us this bountiful river to bathe, soak in his glorious excellence.
For the next 2 weeks we began this sort of relay of paddling and driving and camping and drinking and fishing and paddling and drinking and paddling and drinking. It was probably the happiest couple of weeks of travel I've ever done, which is really saying something. Now, often the case is that the best moments, your favourite memories, are the moments that weren't planned out. There was one afternoon we decided to camp on a beautiful little bend, properly out in the sticks. We called it Connor's Cove, and we drank some beers, we took some mushrooms actually, sorry mum, and I think they would agree, it was probably the best night of my life. It was also quite significant because from there I would say it was the end of the first chapter, because things were about to change quite drastically, at least for me. I feel like I could break this trip up into 3 chapters. The first being Connor, Christmas and company. And the second being, well, sort of the opposite of that really.
Is that it? Doesn't feel like it. You gonna be alright?
Yeah, are you going to be alright?
We're fine. Don't worry about it, alright?
Right, I'll see you soon.
We're fine.
Stay safe on the river, please.
I will. It's gonna be weird.
You know, Connor left because of money. But he was wearing the face of a broken man the day he left. Sorry to smile. I smile because I've worn that as well. And I've experienced now the weight of big journeys and the weight of how many miles and days there is to go. I know how that feels, and I've learnt now that you don't make decisions when you're struggling. Because if you just wait in those moments where you're struggling and it's too much, if you just wait, for some reason, usually the help of a stranger, or for whatever reason, your mood will change. And I think if Connor had just got past that bit there, he would have carried on. And once you've gone past one of those moments, you're more likely to go through many more moments and much less likely to quit. Now I think secretly, or perhaps subconsciously, I wanted this trip to be a solitary trip. And I think I might have had a bit of guilt that I didn't encourage Connor to stay enough. But one thing's for sure, I know that when I did reach the sea, 2.5 months later or whatever it was, I wish Connor was there. I wish that me and Connor had done that all together so we could share that journey, but things happen as they do. Now, the reason I say that this trip I can break it up into different trips, yeah, it was just paddleboarding down the same river. But paddleboarding with Connor and paddleboarding by myself, it was like 2 completely different trips. As soon as Connor had left, I paddled on, and immediately, easily the biggest storm of the trip came in, and I immediately realised that I had to make all the decisions on my own. And I was wondering, do I stop? Do I carry on? Do I stop? And that's what was different. It was all on me now. All the decisions were on me. And the quiet of the river was loud. I have just been waffling to camera, continuing the story, which I wanted to do. I wanted to just end this video. But at the start of the video, I say it's been a month since my last video. It's been about a month since I said that. Anyway, don't give up on me. Excuse me. I really do battle with myself making these videos. I'll play you out. Where's my thing? Thank you, viewers. I also have Patreon, heavily neglected Patreon page, but I still have travel plans, or at least ideas, secret ideas. But I'm itching to travel, I'll be honest. Could have done that better. Well done, Bob. Upload it.